Hello everyone, I'm Mateo Johnson. I'm a percussionist. I study percussion performance and music education at the University of Maryland. I pretty much want to make a series before I start getting back into like the actual like drum covers and like multi-instrumental covers, like stuff like that. I wanted to make a series because it's that season where people are starting to audition for, honors bands and like region band and all state bands. And I figured, I want to make a video helping people. I want to post some demonstration videos on how to play some of the things for the New Jersey All-State because that's the state that I am from and that is the All-State that I participated in. But I wanted to make a video about All-State auditions since, they're coming up. I know regions for the South Jersey area just happened as of yesterday. Those auditions happened and, All-State's going to be coming up. So I wanted to make this video on how to prepare for All-State, how to control your nerves in an All-State audition or any honors band audition, even in a regular orchestra audition. I just kind of want to share my experience and the tips and the things I used to kind of overcome nerves or be able to be prepared for these auditions as well as I can be. So I just kind of made a brief list of the things I will be posting for my New Jersey people. I will be posting a couple things on all the traps excerpts that you have to play for your audition. I posted 2 of the etudes. I posted the mallet etude and the snare drum etude, like Delacluse and Garwood Whaley, those types of things. But yeah, I just wanted to share my experience again and how I prepare and what I do in an audition. So first thing, when you're starting off with an all-state audition or a region audition, because you do have to get into regions in order to audition for all-state. So what you want to do is you want to go on whatever website, whatever organization it is of whether it's the region band or the all-state. You want to go to whatever band association or organization it is. You want to go to their website and you want to make sure you read thoroughly all of the requirements. What you have to play in terms of like traps or other excerpts or solos. They'll have like a solo list. Like I know for New Jersey they have the solo list, and then they have a separate window for like timpani and traps because you have to play like a different study, they call them, like studies to perform in the audition. So you have to make sure you know what you have to play and all the requirements, because you do not want to go into the audition forgetting something and then showing up and basically sight reading it or just not knowing what you're doing. But yeah, you want to make sure you read all the requirements on the website, whatever organization it is. The second thing is you want to be very prepared. A lot of people, this is my opinion, this is a good experience. Being in an honors band is a great experience, especially all-state. You get to travel, like technically you're traveling. I got to stay at a hotel with like all my percussion friends, and like it was a great time. You stayed there for a few days, you do a performance, and then we performed at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark. So that was a lot of fun, and it's a great experience, and it should be taken seriously because it prepares you for, if you want to pursue music in the future, it prepares you for, a wider variety of auditions in terms of orchestras in the real professional world. So I suggest that you be prepared and practice thoroughly for this. My junior and senior year of high school, I had the honor of receiving first chair both years, and in region, well, I didn't get into all-state my sophomore year. I was kind of underprepared, and I guess I didn't have the best audition. But for 3 years, I also got first chair in the South Jersey region band. But that's because I practiced a lot, as much as I could at least. I took it very seriously, and I was very big on observing things. I would observe, like, after each audition, I would break down my scores and like try to see what I could do better, what I could improve in each different area. And I think that's very important to understand, what you're doing and what the judges are looking for. So you want to be prepared, you want to practice thoroughly, and if you take percussion seriously or any musical instrument seriously, if you want to do it in the future, these are very important to take seriously if you want to do well. I tended to practice for hours and hours, and people would be like,
"Gosh, how much did you practice?"
Because like it's a lot, and I wouldn't say it's over practicing. I don't think there's any such thing as over practicing. I think it's just better to be over prepared than under prepared. The practicing, that's what you want to do in order to be well prepared. You want to know what you're doing. You want to go in there confidently, and yeah. So at the audition, This is when you get there, the night before the audition, you want to make sure you have a checklist of everything you need, all your sticks, your mallets, your sheet music. Typically they require you to have the book and not printouts, at least for New Jersey, that's what they require. However, you want to make sure you have your sticks, your mallets, your traps if you have your own, So it is a very good investment to get your own traps materials like tambourine, triangle. It's good to have your own stuff. Especially for snare drum auditions, you want to have your own snare drum. At least I recommend. It's worth an investment, or at least if you have a cheaper snare drum laying around, tune it up well and make sure it sounds nice, because most of the time the snare drum that they give you in an honors band audition does not sound that great. They probably usually choose their worst one, to be honest. But yeah, you want to make sure you have all your stuff and just make sure you have everything you need, because you do not want to be missing something when you get to the audition and then having a panic over that, because then it will just throw you all off. Another thing, when you get to the audition place, wherever you're auditioning, do not listen to other people practicing too much. It's okay to listen in, just be like, oh yeah, like get a good feel for, what your competition is, what you're up against. However, you don't want to listen too much to the point where you're psyching yourself out, getting worried that like, oh, this person's playing this way and I'm not playing it that way. You focus on you, and that's the best thing you can do, is worry about you. And you should treat it in an audition kind of as like you against yourself. Like, I know like the first time ever auditioning for an honors band, you're up against these people, but the more you audition, it's technically like you're just competing against your past self and trying to do better in your mistakes and like what you did if you flunked an audition or something like that. So that leads into the next thing, is not changing anything you're playing based off of another person. This is something I'm big on. Do not change anything you're doing just because you hear someone else doing it. Like, you could be right and they could be wrong, and vice versa. It could be either way. However, even so, you just should stick to what you're doing and what you practice, because you definitely do not want to change anything you've been practicing the day of the audition, because that is something that can definitely mess you up big time, and you don't want to do that. A couple things I do: I bring my headphones to an audition, and I bring all my stuff. I kind of just isolate myself from everyone else, kind of just lock in, listen to some music. I bring a pad. Make sure you're running through your stuff, getting a good warm-up in, just locking in all on your own. But you want to make sure that you're running through stuff like the right amount of times. You don't want to overdo it and you don't want to underdo it. Like, once your hands feel warm and once you get some good reps in, like, then you want to stop. You don't want to overdo it just because you're anxious, because you could wear yourself out and it not be the best performance in your audition. Another thing, I know this sounds kind of corny, but before you're auditioning, do some breathing exercises, kind of calm down your nerves. And a lot of people, their hands tend to be very clammy before an audition. I experienced that, so personally I like to bring like a cloth, a little rag with me. I know it sounds kind of gross, but just like bringing a cloth to wipe your hands down, just so they're not sweating or affecting your grip on the stick or mallet, or even with the traps. For example, doing tambourine thumb rolls, sometimes just having that feeling on your hands, it can kind of mess things up a little bit. Yeah, these are just some tips on how to approach an audition, kind of making a routine for this kind of stuff. And my biggest thing is, don't worry about other people too much. Don't let it psych yourself out. It's an audition for an honors band. I mean, it's not a professional thing. Like, it's important to me, as I'm sure it is a lot of other people. You gotta just be prepared, and you gotta go in confident and knowing that you're going to do well, and just sticking to what you practiced and what you prepared. And that's the best you could do, is just staying calm and just locking in and worrying about yourself, because it can be a lot, with a lot of other people who are competing against you around you. It can be a lot. And when you're done the audition, waiting for results, don't stress yourself out. I made that mistake too many times. Like, don't go about your whole day just like walking on eggshells, like panicking about like where you're gonna place or where you're gonna rank. Know that you did your best, and come out of it with a positive mindset. But yeah, that's basically all the basic things I had to say in helping for an audition. Just practice and keep a good mindset, keep the motivation. And those of you who are auditioning for All-State coming up, best of luck to everybody. I'm sure you guys are going to do great, and just practice. And yeah, that's all. Thank you guys for listening. And yeah, God bless. Thanks.